welcome to Stitches and Sprinkles. My name is Hillary, and this is my YouTube channel about all of my crafty pursuits. Usually that's sewing and knitting, but can include spinning, weaving, baking, trying to crochet cute animals for my kids, lots of different things going on here. So, I have been on about a 3-year hiatus from YouTube, and I am trying to come back. I am coming back, and thanks for bearing with me. Sorry about that. Life happens, things happen, had a couple more kids, it's busy. Anyway, this is in fact my 3rd attempt to film this video, so if at some point I'm in different clothes or my hair or my makeup looks different, that's because I am having to edit things together and batch this and try to make it work with the setup that I have. So, without further ado, let's dive into this. I'm going to try to do it in shorter chunks so that my camera can handle it. What am I wearing? I am wearing my Closet Core tee in a knit stripe fabric from Blackbird Fabrics that I got quite a while ago. I do have on Me-Made plateau joggers on the bottom, but I'm not going to try to stand up and mess up my setup here since it's a little bit precarious. The lighting's not so great since my sewing room is now in our basement. But thanks for bearing with, and yeah, well, I'm sure you'll see my plateau joggers at some point on Instagram or something like that during Me-Made May coming up here soon. So, okay. I am not going to show you everything that I've made in the 3+ years since I have been off of YouTube, but I am going to show you the 2 things that I'm most proud of that I finished recently. And the first one is, if I cannot let this ball of wool roll away, my Willow Pullover by Andrea Gaughan. I'm going to hold it up so you can see. I do still have ends to weave in, but this is a bottom-up basket weave textured drop shoulder construction pullover by the lovely Andrea Gaughan, who is based in Asheville, North Carolina, United States. It is knit in Farmer's Daughter fiber, Pishkin DK in the colorway J Rankin, which is kind of a dusty, mauvey purple, I would say. This color is my jam. It's my speed. You'll see a theme in the colors that I choose, and I'm really happy to have this pullover completed for when it eventually gets cold again. Yeah, I completed it right as it was starting to get warmer just at the end of March, but that's okay. It'll be here when I'm ready. I'll get it all get the ends woven in, get it blocked, and put it in the cedar chest and keep it protected until next winter. So, great pattern, really well written. Positive ease on that, I think, is about 4 inches with the size that I chose, maybe a little bit more after I block it out. So it'll be very cozy. And yeah, that's about all there is to say about that one. The next finished object that I have to share with you is something that I made for myself after a marathon of sewing quilts for people for Christmas. So I decided that I needed a palette cleanser in that it was very different than what I was doing, but it was definitely a challenging sew, and that is the A Place for Everything 2.0 by Annie patterns. And this is made in Tula Pink gray work from Stash Fabrics in Alpharetta, Georgia, United States, near where I live, as well as with some findings from other local fabric stores. And the cool thing about this pattern is that it is highly customizable. So there's lots of suggestions, but everything really is just that, a suggestion. So it contains 2 pages for the bag that you kind of strap in like a book, and you can decide whether you want 1 full top open page or if you want pages divided in 2 with zip sections, or there's lots of different measurements in the pattern for how to divide your pages, or half mesh, half vinyl, all mesh. And what I think I'll end up using this for is cross stitch and embroidery and other small handwork pieces like that. Oh, and you have to see these little seal friends on the other side. This fabric collection is just so beautiful. I had just finished a quilt in Tula Pink Everglow when the collection came out, so I was kind of hemming and hawing because I didn't want to make another Tula quilt right away. But when I saw the yardage in person, I knew I had to have some, and I decided to make a bag. I will probably make more bags with this collection in the future because I have some more in my stash. Those are my finished objects. What am I working on now? So I'm working on several things, but I'll highlight a couple. The first is I am making the Butano button-up by Friday Pattern Company, and I am doing the view shown there with the necktie and the long sleeves. And this is a special make because this is going to somewhat match a shirt that I made for my daughter, my 5-year-old. And this is in a really, really beautiful cotton lawn fabric that I got from Core Fabrics in Canada. It is so light and flowy. Yes, it's a darker color. Yes, this is a long sleeve shirt, but I still do see myself getting wear out of this in the summertime. I was almost done with this shirt when my sewing machine decided to start hiccuping. So unfortunately my sewing machine then had to go in for maintenance and clean, which is fine. It was due, but this is going to be on hold until my machine comes back, probably in about a week and a half. So it's not so bad. And in the meanwhile, I've been getting lots of knitting done and cutting out lots of fabric in newer patterns or patterns that I've had in my stash for a while and been meaning to sew up. So it's all good. He's getting spa time at the sewing machine service place here locally, and I'll get my sewing machine back in not too long. So as I mentioned, I have been knitting up quite a storm in the meanwhile because I am participating in the Farmer's Daughter Fiber Sew and Knit Along. So that is to sew and knit a look using Farmer's Daughter fiber yarn and fabric or not. It's up to you. You can use what you have in stash. I did choose to have a virtual shopping date with the lovely Alyssa, and Candace popped in, and I picked out the yarn for my next work in progress, which is the Bloodroot Tee by Andrea Gaughan, the same designer who made the Willow pullover. And I am using the base Sukapi, which is a singles base in the colorways Eagle Eye, and the lighter purple color is Val, as in Val Kilmer, which is pretty cool. And yeah, so I have that's actually the back of it. And I have just joined the front in the round, and I'm doing some sleeve increases now. It's on too short of a needle, but the Bloodroot Tee, for those of you who may not have seen it, is an all over 2x2 rib tee with a little bit of negative ease. Andrea included options for more traditionally feminine body shaping, more traditionally masculine body shaping, waist shaping. She included instructions for how to achieve clean stripes, when to change stripes, all that good stuff. So it's, again, a really well-written pattern by Andrea, top down, which I prefer, and I'm kind of glad to not be doing a bottom up right now. To each their own. I have my preference of top down knitting. It's easier for trying on, in my opinion. That's really what it comes down to. So that's getting most of my focus because I would like to finish it by the end of May for the Sew and Knit Along, as well as get a couple of other things done, hopefully, for the Sew and Knit Along, and I'll talk about that in a plans video or at the end of this video if I have a little bit of time. And then my second knitting work in progress is the Skyline Tee by Tori Yu. Big fan of Tori Yu's patterns. This is actually the first one that I've gotten around to making. But the Skyline Tee is a gently, with gentle positive ease. It's not an oversized t-shirt. And it's got this 3x1 detail on the top of the shoulders. It's a very interesting construction. You kind of start with the shoulders and then you end up working yourself into the round. I'm not going to give anything away because I think it's well worth the paid pattern. And right now this has become like my out and about car knitting, restaurant knitting, sometimes meeting knitting, park knitting, because I'm on the straight stockinette portion. I'm about halfway through what I need for the body. And if I make it over to knit night, I do take this to knit night because I go to One More Row Woodstock, which is where I got this yarn. And it is knitting for Olive Merino in the colorway Petroleum Green. Petroleum Green. So that is that. It's the fingering weight knitting for Olive. So I like it. It will be very appropriate for where I live. And my goal has been to make more warm weather appropriate knits so that I can enjoy my knitwear more often and not only have to wait until the winter and then be like just wanting to wear everything all at once. So those are my main works in progress that are active. I do have some hibernating works in progress, but I'm not going to talk about those right now. And then I will briefly talk about my plans next. What are my plans? So I am pretty focused on the sew and knit along that I've mentioned a couple times with Farmer's Daughter Fibers. So I'm going to focus on the fabrics that I have been cutting out and getting ready for when my machine comes back so that I can do a few entries into that make along. So first on that list is the Protea Pants by Paradise Patterns, and you can see I've already cut it out. I'm going to use this beautiful lightweight gabardine in the colorway Pecan Pie from Atelier Brunette. I got this from Farmer's Daughter Fibers after my virtual shopping trip, and I'm really excited. The Protea Pants are wide leg trousers with a box pleat at the front of each hip that really allows for a lot of drama in the leg shape, as well as a curved waistband that gets you kind of that nipped in look, and then the cascade of the big wide leg trousers. So I'm excited to try those. I haven't tried them. I've been a little bit unsure of how they would look on me, but we're going to go for it. And I think that lightweight gabardine is going to be really perfect for the warmer months. I was originally thinking about and had ordered the heavier weight gabardine, and then it just so happened that I ended up with the lightweight gabardine, and I'm actually really happy about the switch that was made for like inventory reasons. So things happen for a reason, I'm convinced. The other thing I have cut out for the sew and knit along is this Atelier Brunette Little Tiles fabric in this kind of mossy green. They name it Dreamy Twilight, which I think is fun. But it's just kind of a mossy green with a yellow undertone to it. And I will be making the Anna Allen Anthea blouse, the puffed sleeve blouse. That has been pretty popular for quite some time now. I love it. I've pretty much worn out the other Anthea blouse that I made, so I'm excited to have a fresh one. It's very airy and flowy for the warmer months and should serve me well for looking smart but also staying cool. And then the last piece from that shopping experience is this beautiful Atelier Brunette gabardine in the colorway Leonie. And I am planning on making the Daughter Judy Co trousers. And that plan is all thanks to Tashi of Stitches and Starlight, because they talked about their sewing plans, brought up that pattern. It's been living rent-free in my head ever since. It's gorgeous. It's got this curved hem that goes along kind of just twisted to the front as opposed to being a side seam. And I bought the pattern yesterday and the drafting looks really, really good. I'm super excited to sew it up and grateful that Tashi mentioned it on their channel in their plans video. And hopefully we'll get to do a little buddy sew with that if they have time to do that. So very, very excited about what I have coming up. I also, while I was doing my virtual shopping experience, grabbed this skein of Confluence cotton in Not Another Mauve from Farmer's Daughter. And if I can make it happen, I will try to do like a little shawlette kind of bandana situation also for the sew and knit along, but I might be getting a little bit too ambitious. So that's all I have for you today. Coming up pretty soon, I'm planning to film a Nash Yarn Fest recap and haul video. I did enjoy the marketplace and get quite a stash enhancement going during the event. So I'll share that, but I'm also want to really focus on the community, the people that I met, and just the amazing event that is Nash Yarn Fest. It's definitely an event that I would love to go back to in the future. I think the folks at Modern Day Lay Knitting did a fantastic job and really curated the kind of vendor market that I want to see when I go to a fiber festival or a yarn festival. So kudos to them, and I'll tell you more about my experience really soon. But for now, that's what I have for you today. Thanks for welcoming me back after a long hiatus. I look forward to sharing more of my making with you, and I hope you're enjoying all of your crafting, and see you in the next one.